It is a pleasure for me to participate, though virtually, in this forum. The pandemic has showed more than ever the crucial role that media play to inform citizens. This is recognized in Europe and worldwide. The recent Nobel Peace Prize awarded to brave journalists Maria Reza and Dmitry Muratov gives a clear signal. They were rewarded for their efforts to safeguard freedom of expression, which is a precondition for democracy and lasting peace. So let me quote Maria Reza. "Freedom of the press is the foundation of every single right you have. If we can't hold power into account, we can't do anything." In the Commission, media freedom and pluralism have never been so high on the agenda. As President von der Leyen said in her State of the Union address, defending media freedom means defending our democracy. This is why the Commission decided to cover media freedom and pluralism as part of its annual Rule of Law report and as a key pillar of its European Democracy Action Plan. We are now rolling out the measures that we announced. In September, we adopted the first ever recommendations to Member States on the safety of journalists. We need to do more to protect journalists, both inside and outside of the EU, because our credibility and capacity to act beyond EU's borders very much relies on how good we do at home. We ask Member States to create independent national support services, including helplines, legal advice, psychological support, and shelters for journalists and media professionals facing threats. The EU funds this type of services. The European Centre for Press and Media Freedom in Leipzig helps journalists from inside and outside of the EU, thanks to EU funding. Our EU delegations around the world have strengthened their response to attacks against journalists. In the last 12 months, we have supported over 425 journalists with emergency grants, temporary relocation, or support to their respective media outlets. The Commission is also working on an initiative to fight abusive litigation against journalists and rights defenders. This phenomenon of strategic litigation against public participation, so-called SLAP, is gaining ground in the EU. Together with increasing threats to their physical and online safety, legal threats and abusive litigation add to an environment where hostile activity against journalists is growing. It can have a serious impact on their willingness and ability to continue their work. The Commission has just launched the public consultation on this initiative, and I invite you to take part in it as well. Our next step is the Media Freedom Act that we will adopt in the course of next year. The Commission is missing an instrument to address increasing threats to media freedom and pluralism, which translate into threats to the integrity of our single market. They go together. We have seen many attempts by governments to interfere in the media, undermine their independence, and therefore distort the market. We need to address these issues. Once again, we will consult very broadly. We aim to launch the public consultation at the end of this year, and I look forward to your views. Independent media also play a key role in the fight against disinformation, another objective of the European Democracy Action Plan. For me, someone who experienced communist propaganda and censorship, the key challenge was how to fight disinformation while fully preserving the freedom of speech. So we came with a mix of regulation and self-regulation, hard law and commitments of stakeholders. We have recently published guidance to revise the Code of Practice on Disinformation. The code, published in 2018, was the first time worldwide that industry had agreed, on a voluntary basis, to self-regulatory standards to fight disinformation. It certainly brought good first results, but efforts were insufficient, for instance as regards access to data or monetization of disinformation. Our proposed Digital Services Act introduces, among others, a general requirement for big platforms to take risk mitigating measures. The new code can be one of those measures, if done right. This means that the authorities will be looking at adherence to and compliance with such code. Essentially, the era of gentlemen agreements and self-policing alone is coming to an end. We need more transparency, more diversity, more respect. And we need less manipulation, less hatred, less bubbles in which everyone is entrenched. This is why the Commission will also propose in the coming weeks additional legislation on political advertising online. People must know why they are seeing an ad, who paid for it, how much, what micro-targeting criteria were used. We have seen there are players on this market that escape the regulatory scrutiny. Events like this forum are important to accompany and inform the necessary developments in the EU and beyond. Media freedom and pluralism are at the core of any functioning democracy. We need to defend and promote those values together. And I would like to thank you and wish you very good discussions.